Well, there's our 2-speed Powerflite. Because it was one of those things where it was a gamble to buy that transmission and it have all the non-broken parts this one has versus buying the band that we needed. Well, yeah, if remember I traded a bell housing and clutch for an 11-inch 68 setup for this car. And here we are working on the transmission in this one. It's almost like it's just like poetic justice in like a horrible way. What we're here for is to show you what Dad has done to the old 55. Been watching the 55 Turquoise Torpedo series. There is, well, unfortunately, one big flaw with this car, and some would say it's probably that extra door, but it is. Well, our transmission has a broken band in it, and well, it's only got one forward gear and no reverse gear. And well, I mean, this transmission actually doesn't have a park gear at all, so reverse drive and, well, first gear. So an interesting look at how this 1955 Dodge is built in direct contrast to every other normal Mopar. Our 270 Super Red Ram Hemi sitting up front on coil spring suspension, I believe, with we have our 2-speed Powerflite transmission, which you can see the clean transmission pan we had off, and yep, that's where we found the broken band. And well, we have a transmission on the way. We decided to actually try and keep this thing as intact and as original as possible. So we found another 2-speed Powerflite via one of our good friends, Tom Roseman, who's always helped us with any of our Hemi related projects, because he's just awesome at finding, well, stuff like that, finding all the rarest and unique stuff. So he found us on eBay a 2-speed Powerflite that was, well, considering cheaper than the other one that was on eBay, and well, the guy was willing to ship it to us. So we made a deal, and now that we have basically a whole parts transmission that's hopefully not busted in the same way this one is, we're gonna dismantle this bad boy, just like some of our viewers in the comments have said about how you can take this transmission apart literally from the back instead of the front. A normal 727, everything comes out the front. This guy comes out the back. So we've been soaking this cross member, we've been soaking all these bolts, because we've got to take all this off so we can hopefully fix that transmission. And well, if that is something that interests you guys, because, well, if you dig our little Hemi powered turquoise torpedo as much as we do, well, you've come to the right video. And well, that gives us a good excuse to finally do all the brake work, which, remember, we bought everything to do the brakes for this thing long before we had a functioning cooling system. Maybe because we really wanted it to live. So let's make this thing live. Let's continue on. Alrighty, so folks, we're here with an update on the 55. We added some extra jack stands, some 6-tonners we picked up. Also go in relation with our harbor, our jigs ones up front. How goes everything, Dad?
Well, I don't think it's been apart in a while.
No, I imagine the 55's been together for at least about 70-ish years.
A million years. Back when old dinosaurs was walking around.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever cracked into the stuff you're doing.
I got the 4 nuts and bolts out of the back here.
Oh, okay. I lied.
And them are like the bolts are supposed to be like self-locking on the collar, on the yoke. But the nuts are so rusted on that they rounded off them bolts.
Oh,
So I had to get my vice grips out and bolts.
DPCD on her.
Every one that happens when the nut don't turn loose.
Oof. Yeah.
They're kind of a shouldered bolt, so we'll have to try to.
Yeah, we'll have to get some more of those. We know where to get
reuse that, but
yeah,
I might be able to reuse that.
No, we'll get some new ones.
My helper left the bottles on, so I figured I'll just grab my torch instead of the propane torch.
You see all the rubber, the body bushings? The body mounts are in really good shape.
Look at that frame. Look at that frame.
I know. Frame is impeccable.
You see that on the gas tank? It's kind of a rubber plug there, it's sweeping.
I do see that.
Oh, well, it ain't leaving no spot. It's just kind of.
It's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, zoomed in on it. It's a plug like on a cylinder head. It looks like maybe a 1/2-inch square drive would plug into it.
Oh, really?
Like maybe that's actually a gas tank drain.
Oh, shit.
I have no idea. I'm just.
That would have been handy. No.
Oh, look at the pinion snubbers mounted up there. Oh, always thinking.
Yeah, I started trying to press this collar off, which is basically just pushing the brake drum back. The drive shaft is actually loose. And it's this piece that comes out of that collar that I'm finding out now. If I got my screwdriver stuck.
Oop. Tell me he got the drive shaft out and he discovered a little problem. This side is just how it's supposed to be, and he said there was a couple parts laying in a bucket, aka this spring, and then he said there's this extra little cup piece. I was wondering, I wonder what that goes to. And he had mentioned I might have do some TIG welding, and well, after putting this piece back together, it's very obvious that's not supposed to be removable. And I got it in there to where it'll kind of fit. There goes the spring. And inside of there you see the ball and trunnion. And Dad was right, this thing is filled with basically oil. I figured it'd be filled with grease, but the idea is that this has got this little clamp on it, and well, this cup has unfortunately, well, just worn off, and we need to hold lubrication in here. So I don't know if we're gonna be able to TIG weld this back together with all the oil impregnation, but I imagine this flange is basically the same trunnion they use in the later Dodges, like in a 64, which we have a plethora of those, and I know you can buy these seal kits, so I'm gonna do a little bit of digging on that. And that's just one of the extra little projects that's now a thing with the 55, is we got to repair the drive shafts. That way it's good to go, because we actually have a transmission on the way for the car. And well, getting this thing to where it's all sealed up and will move is the dream and the goal. So here's to that. And well, what are the shenanigans we fall into with this process? Alrighty, so you ever just realize you kind of got a catchphrase without actually having a catchphrase, and it's not actually that cool? All right, so I got to correct myself. I was pretty dang confident that this trunnion style drive shaft from the 55 was going to be pretty dang similar to the later 64 models that we already have. From what I have done on a quick Google search, not the case. But nevertheless, we'll get this fixed, because it's just one small step in making the 55 great again. Well, you can see Dad's got the cross member out, and actually everything looks like it's in pretty good shape as far as the rubber mounts go. Looking underneath here and everything, the frame, all these parts. So how goes this operation, Dad?
Well, it's one piece at a time deal.
Well, I appreciate you taking this on.
Well, at least that down here, it ain't too bad because I'm out of the sun.
That is true.
That, I don't know if this might be the first time this thing's ever been apart. I mean, that's all brand new. See how shiny that is inside that hub?
Well, going off of the mileage and the stories that I've gotten on this from the owners who had it before Jesse, which was the family who had it as a parts car, this thing is probably very low mileage. That's why we see the nice floors and the undercoating. And I mean, it's got rust up in the front floor pans, but back here and everything else, this thing is immaculate.
Looks like where the undercoating stopped is where the rust started.
That is actually, yeah, that is kind of.
It kind of, here's undercoating.
Yeah, and it basically, yeah, and we're just missing the front pan basically. All the rear and everything's great. But yeah, I agree with Dad. This is probably the first time anything's been cracked open, because
I mean, look at the inside of that rear end. See how shiny that is? Isn't that your yoke? inside that yoke.
It can't. Oh yeah, I see that there. Yeah.
Like the first time drive shaft's ever been took apart.
Oh, it probably is the first time. You know, like Dad was telling me the side pipe mounts, which you see those dangling right there and right there, and he said those were actually holding the cross member up, couldn't get them down, so he had to cut them short. And I was just sitting here thinking that, you know, if I was putting this four-door together back in 19-dickety-2 or whatever, and one of our jobs was literally, well, we just put our cool-ass side pipes on here, and then we found out we broke our transmission band, so all of a sudden we got to pull our transmission out to work on it, but we just welded these side pipe mounts on, and now we don't want to have to cut them off, so it's like, screw it, we'll just not have reverse, or...
Yeah.
But got those cut off so that way the cross member could be free, and...
Yeah, because that's got to come down, because this brake line...
Yeah.
And it said in the book, be careful of the brake line. I can see why, because that cross member comes right on it.
Yeah, I got that zoomed in right there.
And I'm probably going to have to place that brake line anyway, but I didn't want to tear it up.
By the way, we are supporting this kind of how the factory service manual says. There's a special support tool they make that fits into the...
I got that hole here.
Yeah, I was zooming in on that. They got a special tool that goes in there that supports the engine if you were back in 1955. But a jack right on the bell housing, because you can actually unbolt a Powerflite from its basically bell housing. And that's actually how the service manual recommends you take it apart, is you just remove bolt there, and there's a bolt up there, just like on a 4-speed transmission, more or less. And then this whole chunk of the transmission, the actual transmission, comes off, and the torque converter and everything stays bolted up to the engine. Because on these things, the torque converters, basically how the flywheel and all this stuff works is, just imagine the crank isn't threaded. You got to run a bolt, and then you got to put a nut up on the backside. It really sucks. But luckily, we ain't got to mess with none of that. So transmission's going to be pretty easy to take out.
Huh.
Well, I mean, relatively dead. Relatively.
Yeah, I've just been back here. It's been kind of a turd because I didn't really know about this, how this all come apart.
At least we know it's going to work, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, there's the bolt up at top you take out, and then that one on this side. Okay. Now we got to take those out. I think Dad's side's going to suck a little bit more, but might not be too bad. Alrighty, well, we got the little guide pins like the service manual tells you to do to help slide everything off. Just cut the end of a bolt off. Dad put a slot in there so we could screw them with a screwdriver. So we got the top two supported there. Now we can remove the bottom two on either side.
My transmission jack, this jack here is going to be messing with me. It's too far forward. Get my jack track and just roll it backwards. Straight back. I mean, we can't, you're not supposed to wiggle it around or anything. It's just like kind of like putting on a torque converter on a regular transmission.
I have decided against hyperlapsing this part because this is kind of incredible.
Okay, right there. It's just sliding right off.
All right. We gotta let the jack down at this point. I think.
Okay.
Really daggone cool. That literally just started sliding out pretty daggone easy, and I was like, you know what? This is just too. This is working way too easy. So we might be able to take some time to degrease everything. Dad and I were just talking about whether or not to go ahead and just pull the engine, because it would be a lot easier now the transmission's off. You know, just order operations, just kind of thinking about things, just because we got to 2 freeze plugs, I think, on the engine, or 3 that are.
Yeah, I can see it right there.
Yeah, there's a drip on the starter. So, and I kind of want to degrease all this because I don't think it would take much to make this thing look brand new again, other than, you know, some of the crap. But yeah.
So we need to come down.
Yep.
Are we out far enough?
Yes. Should be. Famous last words. Bring down the Powerflite, Mr. President. Oh, feels pretty light. Get her. Slid back just a little bit. You want to try to go your way, or just want to come out this way? The plywood will be what kills us. Oh wow, yeah, your side's way dirtier than mine. Are you ready? It's a baby boy! Alright, let me get him. Well, there's our 2-speed Powerflite. Well, we should have another one looking just like that coming in the mail somehow. We bought off eBay. And hopefully it's got the right parts. Because it was one of those things where it was a gamble to buy that transmission and it have all the non-broken parts this one has versus buying the band that we needed on eBay, which was basically the price of a whole nother transmission. Well, Powerflite's out. The secret's out that we got another one coming. So I think you guys can figure out where this is headed. Staying alive, 55. You want to put on these blocks?
One over here. Let's just get upside down. Get this much.
Well, yeah, if remember I traded a bell housing and clutch for an 11-inch 68 setup for this car. And here we are working on the transmission in this one. It's almost like it's just like poetic justice in like a horrible way. Luckily this thing comes apart like a 4-speed. All right, well, we're gonna get that pan off, show you the carnage, and you guys know what to do.
No carnage in my homemade gasket.
We didn't even do this. We can't even take credit for this one, dude. Someone else already did something really cool with the 55 to warrant damaging it. Say your gasket worked out pretty good. You used the purple stuff on that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, almost. Close enough. So yeah, that's where that one servo or piston goes. That's all that spring and everything that we thought we might be missing.
This is that broken band.
Yeah.
Right here. Just sliding around. This one's still intact. This front one. That reverse band. Where's that?
I think it's like yeah, there it is. Yeah, you can see it's got that broken paw. You can see the, yeah. That might be the good side. I don't know, it's kind of hard to see in there for a second. That's actually the broken side right there. Yeah, well, we'll get that band fixed, hopefully. So does our other, let's see, that's got an F on it. So does this other one have an R on it? No, N. Okay. N, F. Just want to get a good mental image of that.
That little servo goes right there.
Yeah, that aluminum piece that goes right in there. And then it's got a little cup this rides on. Just kind of like a, this is almost like, this is, well, these are actually rocker arms. And these are like adjustable rocker arms. And
yeah, so many inch-pounds on that band.
Yeah. So, and then we just got to figure out that that square piece that was in here that has been misplaced. Oh, Powerflite, folks. So, this has been a long journey, Dad, to get to this point. And we know we got a transmission coming. Hopefully it actually shows up. Supposedly they're going to deliver it to our house, and that'd be pretty nice. So once all those parts get here, and we get a better game plan on how we're going to actually, well, there's really no game plan. It's basically tear this one apart, tear the other one apart, and make one out of two, more or less. More or less try and make this one good because we know this one works, and the other one's like super mystery unit. All we need is a couple of parts out of it. So hopefully you are looking forward to that. If not, that's perfectly fine because we have plenty of other stuff we'll be working on.
I just want to let everybody know, I don't know nothing about automatic transmission, but I guess we'll figure it out.
Well, at least we got a simple one, you know. It's got...
I ain't John Cope.
No, we're not Cope at all.
No.
But we'll figure it out.
We might need him here before it's all over.
Look at all that, Dad. Well, you look like you lost about 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So here's the culprit. For everybody who stayed through and watched all that.
That was kind of a booger to get out. They had to see a little of my ingenuity.
I bet that'll be really cool on a hyperlapse. And
that speedometer gear was, that speedometer was stove up, wasn't turning, and it had knocked the gear off the end of the shaft. So I saw that. So I took this speedometer deal out and got it all freed up.
now the speedometer might work.
I mean, that part's working anyway.
Oh, good. Because the speedometer was not working in there.
I can see why.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Stiff. I had to take my 3H drive impact and hold it with vice grips. Finally, I got it freed up where she turns real free.
I really appreciate that, Dad. Well, I'll get that all cleaned up so that way it ain't so dirty. And when we get our other transmission, I'll also do that. And, well, we'll tune back in with everybody at home. So, Dad, you are the man.
You sure we can't weld that?
I mean, in the event that our other transmission gets here and it's broken the same way, because this was a common problem for people trying to hot rod these. That's why they changed it in '56, literally. After 2 years, these were really common about breaking this paw off, which we have in your toolbox. And well, I imagine if we got this thing completely degreased.
What cast steel? I mean, see how this is?
Yeah, it's definitely cast.
Yeah.
And they glued the lining in there, which is asbestos lining. And but yeah, we might, I don't know, there's that lining right up to there.
I mean, if it was missing a little bit of lining, it's got to be better than nothing.
That's true. Well, hopefully our parts.
A bunch of rust on the drum.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of rust buildup on the drum. I shined that off.
Well, I'm just hoping that our parts transmission has not been hot rodded too. Oh, well, welcome back, everybody. So, I had originally thought about, you know, degreasing this transmission so that way Dad didn't have to, because We got our new guy right there, which we haven't shown you at all, but in the middle of a Kansas thunderstorm, it is the best time to degrease the transmission. We got some citrus stripper we're trying, some dissolver, see if it actually works. And well, if you guys don't remember the last time you watched this, just scroll back about 5 seconds and look at the transmission. It ain't sludgy, and well, our table's getting kind of covered in crap, but that's making a heck of a difference. Yeah, starting to look like a transmission instead of a giant lump of crap. So I'm gonna grab my brush. I'm gonna continue to help Dad, because well, we're making pretty good headway, and we'll get this done here pretty soon. Oh, perfect timing. I turned the camera on, and what does it do? Thunder, and the rain just started picking up. Oh, alrighty. Side we cleaned. I didn't record that, or the raindrop grabbed it, turned my camera off. Side we've barely touched yet. We did the top there, you can see clearly. But yeah, even when we run out of solvent, we even though Mother Nature's rain has kind of slowed down for us, I don't think stopping is a thing. You can see the casting numbers now on the case. Everything's getting cleaned up. All the linkages are visible again. Shoot, I'm gonna have to paint this thing before too long, Dad. You're gonna have to be careful now.
I know.
Look at that degreasing action. No, it's standing out here filming your dad in the middle of a thunderstorm. Well, at the end of a thunderstorm. Yeah, oh, nope. I said end of a thunderstorm, and I just see the gray in the future. Oh, I missed it.
What?
The cleansing. It's okay, everybody's gonna be worried about my mental health now, because I'm over focused on the cleaning. Now, Dad, you know you got 2 brushes right there.
Well, the screwdriver seems to be the tool of choice on this crap.
Oh, is that where it's just like all the remnants of like cakeified?
Yeah, it's like county road.
Well, that's why you don't let it dry. Just don't turn the transmission, Dad, because your crusade's got a long ways to go still on the south side. But at least we can see a daggone transmission. Daggone, it wasn't like 3 minutes ago and that thing was still just a big old sludge box.
Handy.
Well, we're gonna add silver paint to the shopping list. Look at that, it actually cleaned the brass fittings. They're actually shiny again. They're kind of clean. That must be from that dissolver.
You think we can turn it around without dropping it?
Yeah. See that? It didn't fall over. I guess it's really not that much worse on this side.
I ain't got as many nooks and crannies.
No. Well, we wanted to mostly get all that linkage cleaned up. Yeah. Alrighty then. It won't be much longer now. Alright, only documenting for the chance this means anything at all. I know it's DPCD, but that's our tail housing part number. And the fact it says something else. Something BOHNALITE. Maybe that means something. Maybe we have a 1-of-1 super race Powerflite. Highly doubtful, but you know, you can be hopeful. Well, the rain has picked back up and we've seen a number of strikes of lightning, and they say not to be. Yeah, it was just telling me we're standing underneath a tree in a lightning storm, and here we are underneath several. But you know what? That transmission looks daggone good, Dad.
It's more of a guideline.
Yeah. Kind of like the pirate code. Found some numbers on the side of the transmission case. It's completely illegible now because I got this on there. Oh yeah, it says 55 right there. So that'd be probably the year. And it's got a bunch of other crap right there. But well, till next time, folks. When we dig into that transmission, figure out what we got.
We don't have the same numbers.
Yeah, it'll tell us more on there.
Yeah.
So
it's got a 55 or what is it?
I hope it's a 55. He said 54, 55. It can't be a 56, but, well, we'll figure that out next time, I imagine. So as always, guys, gals, Dad, want to thank you for checking out this video.
Yeah.
But all right, well, folks, look forward to seeing the next one. We dig into that other transmission. Hopefully we find everything we need to get the old 55 back together. As always, take care and
Bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye.